Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Subletts. Missouri, Texas. Yeah. You love me. You believe in me. You cherish me.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Can y'all hear? Can y'all see us? We are sitting in our bedroom because I wanted to change things. Oh, look, I got my. All right. Still there? Y'all know we always trying to get it together. So I wanted to sit in our bedroom because of this love. I don't know which way. Flag.
I think I know how to fix this.
Is that better? No. We trying to get the technical difficulties, y'all.
I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know. I thought I turned the headphones on.
Oh Lord.
It's me out, not y'all. It's always on. Is that better?
Oh, I can't.
Is that better?
I don't know.
Now, why do we never have this problem any other time?
Because you're not wearing your headphones today.
Oh, but I was just wearing them and it was still doing it. I just turned them off. Yeah, it does have an echo. I just turned them off.
You wanted to sit in here.
Okay. Y'all hold, please. I'll be right back. Y'all want to start the show back.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I feel like I can't hear myself. Well, I guess obviously I won't be able to hear myself. See, you should have sat with me in my camera and we wouldn't have this issue.
Where am I gonna sit?
Well, I had it turned that way for a reason, but that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. I guess you can.
Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna go in another room.
Y'all.
She is so lit.
Y'all don't get a spouse. That's
you know what?
It's so overrated. Well, as soon as the lovely comes back, we'll definitely get our lives together because we always start with the weekly highlight. And I don't know. Nirvana, that's your friend. I don't really know what she's doing. I'm just here. But I guess the most obvious weekly highlight, I guess it hasn't even happened yet, so I don't know if it can be considered a weekly highlight, but my birthday's on Saturday. I know that some of you were confused because Taboo started posting happy birthdays yesterday, but my birthday is on Saturday. She's just saying it all week long. So thank you for the ones who have said it already. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely excited for Saturday because we will definitely be for the turn up. Well, I will be. They're going to be working. I'm going to be kind of working. I'm going to do my best. But if I know my friends, I'm probably not going to be doing much working, but I'm going to be cute. So that's what matters. So that's definitely at the top of my list this week. But I guess if I had to have a real highlight for what has already happened, I would say Monday was a highlight for me. I went with Taboo to her job. They had like a little telethon thingy. I don't really know. It was more like a phone-a-thon. It wasn't really a telethon, but yeah, it was really cool that I was able to see all of the things that were going on and how the event kind of came together. Oh no, my bad, y'all. I met a lot of cool people. It was really awesome just to see people come out and really support what they were doing and stuff like that. So that was really awesome. So that was probably my highlight. And I'm sure it's probably her highlight too for different reasons. So do you got your life together yet?
Yes, I think I do. How does that sound, y'all? Are we good? Can we get some likes, some hearts, if that's okay?
I
Okay.
don't hear
So
an
you done
echo,
with
so
your
I think you're good.
Okay, okay. So is it my turn for weekly
It
highlight?
is your turn for weekly
It is
highlights.
my turn for weekly highlight. So today is Wednesday. So since last Wednesday, because it definitely is Virgo season, so I'm on a month long of highlighting about Virgos and the things that we do and how we are, and I love all of us, especially the August Virgos, the September ones. They're more of a seasoned version of the August Virgos, but we definitely are turning up for every Virgo August 23rd through September 22nd. My family is, we take over like the first week and a half of Virgo season. So I've had a couple of highlights actually.
I figured you
Um,
had a laundry list since you missed last week's show.
I know, and I'm so sorry I missed last week's show, y'all.
Oh, I
Actually,
have another highlight, but I want to say it at the end of the show, so you go
at
ahead.
the end of the show, okay, okay. Um, I had a meeting last week, so I couldn't be here, but my nephew's son, his birthday is was this past Saturday, and you get these feelings. You grow up, and people grow and they change, and I have about 15 nieces, nephews, cousins, all in the same age range, and I know they love me. I know they respect me, but and I cry every time I talk about them because I love them that much. My nephew's son, I text him. He would just come from a run, like and then we talked for 2 hours Saturday morning. If you all don't know, I used to be the chair of the Texas All Female Ride. Bay is now the chair of the Texas All Female Ride and its subsidiary, the Sisters Beyond Rags Foundation, and I'm now am the executive director. This weekend we were supposed to be in El Paso, but things did not align. Um, Financially, things did not align, and a lot of people are letting us know now, hey, I was going to be there, or whatever, but things just did not align up, and you have to handle business like business. And I was able to talk to my nephew's son for 2 hours Saturday morning, and as we are making changes, so I guess it's kind of a twofold weekly highlight. As we were making changes to the organization, as we were updating paperwork, and updating banking information, and setting this up and changing social media, and letting people know, like, we understand now, everybody's used to the Texas All Female Ride, but now it's Sisters Beyond Rags Foundation. Just talking to my nephew and remembering um why I do so much, I did so much for him as a child. um and then he became grown, and I let him know, before he graduated, like, hey, auntie's not going to be able to do certain things, so you're going to have to depend on yourself because you're going to have adult needs. I can't take care of more than one adult. I can only take care of you. If you're a kid, I can give you what I can give you. Hope you listen to me. Don't hurt yourself, but as a grown person, you need to be able to take care of yourself, and that looks whatever way you choose it to look. It doesn't look the way that our family chooses. And I remembered in talking to him and some of the things he talked about in his family, and it was like everything. Girl, onions, it's barbecue smoke all in here. But just remembering the things that he went through as a child, and he busts his behind every day for his 5 children now. And remembering not having, now I'm just now learning as an adult, there were times where he did not have food. And and he knows we did not play about that. Auntie was eating good at that time. I had no kids. I was married, or I wasn't married. Like, he could have, there wouldn't have been an issue with dropping groceries off. But you don't talk about those things, because we as women, we have to be strong. We have to hold the families together. And so this week of, these last probably 3-4 weeks of changing this organization over, and then talking to him, Saturday morning was really confirmation for me that turning the focus less about just showing up and being sisters and being married with each other and let's go do this charity ride stuff. No, we as women really need to do some work, whether we are women that present like me, whether we are women that present like, you know, that is super girly or super feminine. We as women really have to do some work in communicating and understanding what someone's feelings are, what another person, you know, another woman's feelings are, and why we're not talking about what's going on. Me and my wife, even though I didn't want to talk about it, openly talked about, you know, we going through homelessness. And I had really dear friends that have not judged us throughout this whole process, that have not lost faith in us. And I appreciate them for being there with us darn near every day. Throughout that process, but really getting to a point as women, like, hey, put the bullshit aside. Like, we've got to take care of each other. We are starving. We are losing our houses. Our utilities are cut off just because we're chasing something, or we're chasing, oh, well, we have to be like the male MC clubs, or we have to be, or I'm independent and I can do. And then we run around here with stuff, ain't got cars. Cars need to be taken care of. Bikes need to be registered. Bikes need to be insured. And we're acting like everything is health issues. Everything is okay. And it's not. And my nephew reminded me Saturday morning that it can seem like the help that you're giving somebody is enough, but it really is not, because we're not talking about it. And we as women don't have to judge. We don't have to compete. Let the men do that. Be understanding. We can take care of each other, but we don't have to be better or worse than each other. But we can say, you know what, I'm not okay. I'm having a bad day. It's beautiful outside. Me and, you know, my spouse are arguing. I'm having a bad day. But how can I get through it? I've had one of my dear friends check me about my relationship with my wife. You complained about this before, so what you gonna do about it? And now I can't get that out of my head. Every time I'm into some disagreement with my wife, just because we're disagreeing, you just remove yourself from the situation and you allow it to die down. Because again, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. Be right here. So that's my weekly highlight. Work. So work was a good one. I'm a piggyback bang on weekly highlight. So this idea came about. It's some old school 1970-ish, like used to be the big deal. Hey, we're gonna have a telethon. We're gonna raise all this money. And it ended up becoming a day full of just information and, you know, and smiles and, you know, and it was sunny. Oh, it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be this. No, it was sunny, and there was food, and there were flags, and there were children, and people were laughing, and it was Labor Day. You know, so some people went to picnics before they got there, and, you know, and then they came there, and then they went other places, but they got to hear from different candidates that are running for public office. It was a really cool day. So something that just started with some 1970s idea turned into an actual beautiful day of, you know, people being present and wanting to really make a change in their community. So those are my 2 weekly highlights, and that's what I got.
Awesome. Okay. That's really awesome.
I know, long-winded as usual.
Yeah.
So what's our topic tonight? Who we got tonight? We got some
well, our topic tonight is the Liberty Ride. We were actually supposed to have our guest that was supposed to be on last week. They were supposed to be on this week as well. So hopefully, you know, they are able to jump on with us. But off chance that they are not, we still have our Liberty Ride guests that are going to be on.
Okay.
So I'm excited to hear all about this. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring them on.
Okay, I'm excited to meet them, y'all. I've been waiting for like 2 days to meet them. Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Is that Remy? Yeah.
Y'all, you did not tell me, lady.
I didn't.
Ricky's one of my friends, y'all. That's why I say
she's been on the show before. I hope they know that.
You did not tell me it was gonna be. Why y'all do? Remy, you didn't even tell me. Why y'all do? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me be quiet.
Hey, Tim.
Welcome. So is this Eric?
This is Eric.
Okay, Eric, I've been waiting to meet you too. Nice to meet you. I'm Taboo. You can call me Candace or Taboo, whichever. So
Taboo.
Bay's running this show today because I'm just the guest.
I'm really not, because I already know you're gonna definitely take over this conversation. So this is really for you.
Okay, so y'all tell me about the Liberty Ride. When it started, what is it? Inform the people. Educate me, please.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping to see Diet on the.
Yeah,
on the
I don't think
call.
it said 7:30. So.
Oh, well, we got time. Oh, well, we can make something else up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7:30.
Last thing I want to do is steal her thunder because she is the creator of the Liberty Ride.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about it. I've been seeing it and hearing about it for about a year or two, so I'm excited to actually get somebody to tell me about it. Yeah. So, but we actually have been changing some things up. Remy's got some phone calls, some anxiety phone calls, and what should I do or what do you think? But we've been talking about our nonprofit that is now switched over from the Texas All Female Ride to the Sisters Beyond Rags Foundation. And so our overall goal is to make sure we start shedding light on not being okay as women, making sure that we are saying, you know what, I want to come to this event, but I can't afford it. If it's feeding my children, if it's having gas to drop them off, that's going to be more priority than getting out and going to ride. So we are trying to find solutions in regard to making sure that women are able to be more present. We all know, as we, it's our pay is always less than men. We all know that, women of color make less than men of color, less than white people. So really trying to find solutions, funding without making a woman feel bad because she needs help, because everybody needs help. Let's not act like it's not something that's, normal, but everyone needs help. And so really we actually are working on something for the Lone Star Rally. Hope that'll be out in a couple of days, but really moving from a less governing situation to more this is what I do every day type of thing, and handing it over to Bay has actually been experience.
She's got music playing.
Okay, hey,
it's a party now.
I'm with the party.
I love that video that Tim Hallred did of the Montana, Oregon, and and the song, I've never heard it. I haven't even figured out who this artist is, and I just love it. So I'm sorry.
It is okay. You need our cousin here. We call her Shazam because she knows any artist as soon as she hears the music.
Yeah.
So, but she's at work.
Oh, okay.
So, how are you doing? What's your name?
My name's Diet.
Diet. Okay, Miss Diet, and tell the people who you are.
I am the Liberty Ride Society. Have we already started the show?
Yeah.
Yes, we're in here.
I thought it started at 7:30, so I've just been. I apologize.
It's okay.
Oh no, we're very fluid. We do our own thing on this show.
Okay, all right,
we usually don't start on time because
I saved my powder for you, Diet.
Oh, this is gonna be a great show.
So yeah. That's who am I? I'm Diet. You caught me off a little off guard. I thought I still had 10 minutes. Those that have spoken with me know that I don't speak well. I write better than I speak.
She's a really good writer. Really good writer.
Okay, I'm interested to read some stuff. Okay, so tell us about the Liberty Ride.
Well, the Liberty Ride started in 2020. And I'll tell you the whole backstory to it, really. I was real active in my motorcycle community, and I've ridden for 40 years. And the people that I called my family and that I really cared about and really put a lot into, I started noticing about 5-10 years ago that they had values that I wasn't aware of and had become more and more aware of. And it was always a surprise. And it's, for some, it made me distance myself. For others, I just thought that, it's about politics, and I ignored it. and I ignored it for as long as I could. And when the pandemic hit, I could no longer ignore it because I couldn't take the chances with the health of my family who were high risk for the pandemic. So I removed myself from most everybody I have known all my life. And I started, like so many people out on social media, I found that there were others that actually shared the same experiences that I did with their motorcycle communities. And
Okay.
I found a social media page, and I started removing people I actually knew in real life and replacing them with people that I was meeting on Facebook.
Okay.
And I was like adding one, deleting one, adding one, deleting one. And so anyway, I ended up helping somebody with set up a liberal biker, a Bikers for Liberty group.
Okay.
And his idea was he wanted to connect, because a lot of us had left our motorcycle communities and were riding solo because of what happened with the politics. And I'm talking basically from an old white lady biker perspective here. In
I
the
understand.
community, it's really been eye-opening for a lot of us. And so it made me leave the community pretty much. And I was a leader in the community, and I resigned my position. And immediately this fell into my lap right after I resigned that. And I kind of think it was a door opening for me because for many, many years, I never really fit there. I'm not much of a drinker. I want to ride past the pubs. So I
Drop me off at the dispensary, please.
I've been forcing. And I was criticized for being of that persuasion because I didn't drink, and so I was a drug addict. But I remembered the conversations most people didn't. Anyway,
That far.
a different direction. But so I had found the Liberal Graybeard Biker site. That was my first one, and it was the best thing for my mental health that any had been in a long time, because on that page, people were saying Sturgis was coming up. Nobody wanted to go because, for one, we were in a pandemic, and for two, the politics. It had become a political rally, and we didn't want to attend. And so we thought of the idea of having a gathering somewhere in the middle for people who weren't on the Trump train. And but then somebody mentioned that we were in the middle of a pandemic. And so a lot of states at that time, if you left, and employers, if you left, you couldn't come back to work for 15 days.
Right.
So I had helped with organizing the Midwest Ripple, which was the Women Rider World Relay through the Midwest in 2019. And so I threw the idea out there of, hey, let's do a relay where we can transfer outside and hang out outside and protect ourselves and our loved ones, and still get a motorcycle ride in, and a conversation with people who share our values. And that's how it began. And another thing that was in the conversation, and a hot topic at the time, was a lot of the motorcycle, the traditional biker symbols had left a bad taste in our mouths because they had been kind of shanghaied by people who were anti to what I once thought those very things represented. And so then those things, I no longer felt pride in things that I once did. And so other people were sharing the same values, and we decided, let's reclaim them.
Yeah.
These aren't partisan things. These are American principles.
Yes.
These are American biker principles.
Yes,
These
ma'am.
shouldn't be about politics. These are about morals.
Yes. Okay.
And
I'm
that's what-
loving this.
And so I had a bunch of, I asked, I said, where are you guys located? And some people had the gonads to tell a complete stranger where they were located. Some people don't like that at all. And Eric here was one of the first ones to tell me where he was. And it was the people that had the gumption to do that really can take credit for this. Because if they hadn't done that, I wouldn't have seen that we could easily go around a circle around the country. And it's the people that a lot of people, this is not my thing. It's every person that said I'm in, because if they didn't show up, that breaks the chain. And now for 3 years in a row, we have not broken the chain.
That's
awesome. That's really
absolutely awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That means people are committed to it. And so what is the chain? What is it that people are carrying around? What is it that brings us together, no matter about the politics and the morals?
It's the founding principles. And, just like the Constitution, when it was first written, it didn't necessarily apply to all of us. It didn't apply to me. It didn't apply to you ladies.
Right.
I don't know. It may have not applied to Eric. Was your great grandfather an immigrant without land? It didn't apply to all of us. Right. And so connecting the Constitution with the Emancipation to me is a big deal. And the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, because it was when those were attached, that's when the Constitution became the American dream.
Okay.
And so we're moving the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, the United States Constitution, the Emancipation, and the Bill of Rights. To me, what I find interesting is I have very little, I have a rough time getting interest in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, but everybody loves carrying the Emancipation and the Bill of Rights.
Okay.
So that's, to me, says a lot.
Right.
And so this year, and I'm going to shout out to Ruby Thundercat. She had the idea of connecting the Emancipation and the Constitution at the Roundup. And when I was like, well, what's the Roundup? And she explained it to me, and I went, well, oh yes, please. so she wasn't able to make that happen, but April here, she did. She got the Emancipation to the Roundup. And so from there, the Vikings Motorcycle Nation has taken the Constitution across the South, back across the Southeast, because it came and then it went back. Back across the Southeast, and it's now ready. It's in somebody's hands. It's going to DC with us next week. But to me, to have those two together along the Civil Rights Trail is absolutely awesome. I hope in the future we can take more time and see more of the Civil Rights Trail. So when I saw that video, there was a video that one of our writers created and posted today. And when I saw it, and I keep watching it, it really is. And it's probably no one but me is going to have the sentimental about it that I have. But the one thing that hit me was, we might just be carrying copies of those things, of those documents, but they are going down the back roads of America, all from coast to coast.
Yes, ma'am.
And even copies have never probably traveled along a lot of those roads.
Right.
And so that I just, even saying that, I got chills. So I think that's pretty cool. That's all. And I should be quiet and let these other folks speak, because they got a lot more to say than I do, really.
Well, we definitely appreciate you giving us the founding understanding of where this all started. And I definitely appreciate you being open. Not all the time. Okay, I'm not from the South, but I live in the South now. I'm from a place where subtle racism is just how it is. And then down here is very blatant. But I am actually around white people now that I don't think ever exist. Not to say that that you all never existed, but it was more so like, oh, y'all hate racism more than we do. Like being embarrassed that coworkers and family members are saying these things. Like I'm my neighbors. I'm meeting them, and it's kind of like they are like I'm disgusted by it. I mean, I'm black, but they're disgusted by it. So to have the same disgust as me, and to feel the same way, but I'm seeing it visually coming out, like I appreciate the Liberty Ride. I appreciate that I have this understanding of this is not how we want to live in this country. So I thank both of you and everyone else who started this, for having that coming awakening and that awakening, because some people may have not done anything. They would have saw what was going on and just kind of backed out and did nothing. So I really appreciate you all for connecting the dots in whatever way that you're connecting them, because that's exactly what we've got to do. That's exactly what a lot of us are doing within our communities. And this is exactly what I'm trying to get us to do here in the DFW. Like being mindful of the things that are going on around us and really saying no to the BS. So I'm going to give you all the floor, either Eric or Remy, either one. I just want to hear what you all's experience is with the Liberty Ride.
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay. Three things I think I want to say right off the bat. The first is that we came together because we are really tired of having symbols of America and all the values that the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Emancipation Proclamation represent, and having them appropriated by a group that seems to have no sympathy whatsoever for the values that are embodied in those documents. We're tired of it. We want to reclaim these things on behalf of all of the American people. We may differ on a lot of policy issues, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we all agree on everything, it's going to be a pretty boring conversation.
Yeah.
And if we disagree, we may find some common ground where we can make some strides forward. And so that's one of the really fundamental things that I think we all embrace in this ride. There are a couple of quotes, a couple of stories, if I may. One comes from Dick Gregory. I think folks know who Dick Gregory was.
No, I don't. You got to tell
me. Dick Gregory was first of all, he was a comedian, but he was a black comedian who did a really good job of making white people uncomfortable by talking about the things that stand in front of us. And one of the things he said was, there's not a big difference between the North and the South. He said in the South, they don't care how close you get as long as you don't get too big. But in the North, they don't care how big you get as long as you don't get too close.
Yeah.
And that's how he described the relationship between black and white people in this country. We see it everywhere. I was reading an article just this morning about a woman who won a big jackpot in Livonia, Michigan, at a casino, and the bank wouldn't take her check. They said it was fraudulent. Okay, this wasn't Alabama. This wasn't Mississippi. This was Michigan.
Yeah.
And that's just wrong.
I agree. Okay.
And so that's one of the things that we're really, interested in pursuing is we want to say, no, this America is a country for all the people, and we need to reclaim democracy on behalf of all of the people, regardless of the fact that we may differ on a lot of our particular policy issues. I mean, you can talk about Second Amendment rights, you can talk about abortion. These are things that are controversial because we all have strong feelings about them, but it doesn't mean that we can't talk about them and try to find a place where we can all come together and create what the founding fathers called a more perfect union.
But that's the one thing where we have to get to is the one thing that America stands on is freedom for all. All men were created equal. That is
And
one of the
women.
very first statements we said as a free country is all men are created equal. Well, we now know that men includes women and that we're all men, that there's not a 3/4% or, that what.
Oh yeah, that
Yes, that's
2/3.
stupid.
What is it?
Whatever.
3/5.
What,
3/5.
yeah, stupid is stupid.
Yeah.
There's none of that. We're all men are created equal. That is America. That can't be debated.
Right.
And that does, I don't care. That doesn't mean if you're a gay person, trans, it doesn't matter. If a person is a person,
Mm-hmm.
no matter whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God,
Right.
no matter none of a person is a person. And the rest of that, that's non-debatable. And but we still have people who think that, just today they ruled that companies on religious grounds don't have to give the PrEP for HIV on religious grounds.
Wait a minute, they don't have to do what with HIV?
The medication, the insurance companies don't have to cover the PrEP. Now, I just read the headline, so I shouldn't say much more than that. And I don't know what state this was in, if this was a federal thing or if this was, I just saw this, and I am busy at work getting ready to prepare my office for me not being there for a couple of weeks. Yay. So I didn't read it. But yeah, there was a ruling that the PrEP medication that keeps people from getting HIV, it does not have to be covered by insurance companies because it is promoting gay sex.
Wow.
Now, from someone who once unknowingly found out I was in a relationship with somebody that was having gay sex, he could have brought it to me.
Yeah.
So that would be also denying somebody like me
Unknowingly, yes, ma'am.
that medication.
Or what if a person's born with it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. There was a time in this country. Now I'm a retired attorney, so you'll have to forgive me for falling back on some of that background. But there was a time in this country where there was a very sharp distinction drawn between belief and practice.
Right.
You may believe in human sacrifice, but that the Constitution doesn't give you the right to practice it. Okay? You may believe that gay sex is an abomination, but that doesn't give you the right to discriminate against other people who have different beliefs. That was a bedrock legal principle that's been abandoned in the last several decades.
And it's really just been like the last 50, 60, 70 years, maybe.
Sure.
I think. April, now we're going to bring April into it. April, she helped us get it to the emancipation to the Roundup. And Ruby invited her in for that job. But come to find out, Ruby and I were talking about an idea of creating Liberty Minutes, where it's little like the bicentennial minutes, only Liberty Minutes, where it's like quick snippets of historical facts that would make people say, yes, I need to vote so we can overcome this issue. That kind of thing. And so April went, oh yeah, I'm in, and she is rocking it.
Yeah.
She's now forever going to be Lady Liberty to me.
You got a whole new name, Remy.
Right.
Lady Liberty. And she's even come up with a great idea to do a children's book with just the facts. And a lot of it comes from, we're all we need history taught. And clearly there's a faction out there that doesn't want history taught. Here's a good example. I love history. And I did not know, but I'm also not extreme. I'm not real educated, but I read. But anyway, I did not know about Juneteenth until a few years ago. I did not know about Tulsa until a few years ago. And when I say few, learned about Tulsa probably 2 years ago. And I'm not really a sheltered person in as far as that kind of stuff goes.
And where are you from again?
I'm in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, an attorney that
I did that for a reason.
What part of Kansas are you in?
The capital, Topeka, Kansas. So I went to school with Fred Phelps's children. My children went to school with his grandchildren. My grandchildren are going to school with the great grandchildren. If you know who Fred Phelps is, Westboro Baptist Church, the guy that used to picket all the funerals.
I do not know.
Says that America is dying because we have gay people in it. And anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now you know who I'm talking about? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I looked them up.
Oh.
Yeah, I am definitely that person.
And so he pickets I always told my kids that, if you grow up and he pickets you or your place of work, you have succeeded. And guess what? He pickets my place of work once a month. The third.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So that's all good. Not because of me, but it's
no.
And I won't say where I work. I shouldn't.
Please don't. We don't want more people showing up.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I going with that conversation?
Juneteenth and the Tulsa massacre.
That history.
I didn't know about this stuff. So we need to teach the history that needs to be taught, that for some reason people don't want it taught. And one of the ideas I would have put out to April is the truth about the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance was rewritten. It didn't used to say "In God We Trust." Our national motto used to be "E Pluribus Unum." They basically switched that out for "In God We Trust." I believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I am not an atheist. I'm not agnostic, but we need to remove the church from state.
Right.
Okay, so that's it. But I tried to introduce April, and I started talking again. Because April, I think, is going to help us in a wonderful way. Anyway, Hi, April.
Hello, hi, hey.
Are you April to us, or who are you? Because everybody else don't know you.
She's Lady Liberty, don't you know?
Oh, that's Lady Liberty. Okay, AKA Remy. AKA Dr. Jones.
I'm so pleased that Thundercat called me. I hadn't even heard of the ride, the Liberty Ride, and she told me that I would love it. And she told me to stand by. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this, because I think I am a revolutionary. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I stand on what I stand on. I kind of go against the grain. And education is my background, so it was a time where it wasn't cool. It's not cool to vote. It's not cool to talk about politics or get into it. It's not cool to even care about that. So what I'm trying to do is make the new generation, our future, understand how important it is, and it's pretty cool. Like, you can be badass and understand the democracy and your rights and your liberties across this country. You can be badass and not have racism and have peace and not war. You know what I'm saying? And so I am trying to be that person and go into those areas, as just like myself didn't know about this. And I really didn't. Now I know I'm educated, so I know about the founding principles. But again, it didn't pertain to me as I felt, or that's for white people, or you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But it's not. And I found so much joy in moving and learning about the Declaration and the 13th and 14th, 15th Amendment, and how it changed everything. It added to it. It made it inclusive. So a lot of people say fuck democracy and this shit doesn't work, blah blah blah. But I am one who wants to be used as a vessel to get the message out, and especially for children. And so we are going to do this book. We're doing these minutes. I'm loving the facts. I'm loving the history facts, and I'm prepared to go to war
with your words,
in discussing the things that that
Right.
people don't want us to hear about. So that's what I'm here for. I'm the one that's here to kick ass on the Liberty ride.
And you know what?
But her weapon is her words. That's
right.
And you know, and that should be the end all be all weapon anyway.
Yeah. And I know right now, some of the things that was discussed during our telethon on Monday is the growing concern of a potential civil war. And then I appreciate you for saying with her words, like making it clear, because to us, we've lived in a civil war forever. I mean, it's not so violence, whether it's right in your backyard or, walking out the door, that's normal. It's just normal. So, but there is a growing concern and groups of people, which I think those are the people that you said you separated from, that are really taking this to a visceral level. There is a young man who is 23 years old. He lives about 14 minutes that way. He was caught during Pride Month in Idaho in that back of that truck with those people. I looked up his voter registration. Don't play with me. I need to know where you live from us. And so it's so crazy because just the other day, my cousin was making mention of the flag. And that's why I wanted my wife, and I was trying to be in the back of it too. I wanted people to see it because she wanted to hang it over the balcony. But I know where we live. And we live with all those people who are not okay with sitting down with Black people, who are not okay with queer folks, as my wife and I are, who are not okay with just being open. And I moved from Missouri, but I'm looking at a lot of the white people in Texas, and a lot of them are not like their skin is turning brown like our skin is turning brown. And it's not just the sun. So everybody's pretty mixed up, but there are people that have these ideas that this is okay and this is a way to treat people. This young man was 23 years old. So it's not going away. That's horrible. At 23 years old, you're already trying to go protest and potentially harm some homosexuals in Idaho. To me, that's a problem. I actually was looking at something where one of our constables, it came through my news feed in another county, which is about 15, 20 minutes from here. He had signed up for, I can't think, I don't know what it is, the something keepers or something, I can't remember what it was, Oath Keepers. And he had signed up for it like way back in the day. And so now this conversation is coming up now because, of course, an election is coming and I don't know if he's running. That's not my county. But it's a very growing concern that, a civil war is going to happen. And I know a lot of us are going to be like, wait, what? Like, white people are fighting each other over power and control. Like that's, I'm appreciative that you all are open in these conversations, that you all are doing something about it, that we're addressing it, that it's being taught to children, that, and it's circling through our motorcycle community. I think especially in DFW, this is something that I've been trying to shake my people into paying attention to, not just we went out, we did this protest. It was great. I got up there to speak. I'm thinking something's going to happen after, and nothing happened. We had 200, 300 motorcycles there on Friday, Juneteenth. In Texas is a big deal. Like I heard about Juneteenth back home, I heard on the radio, we knew it was a big deal, but in Texas, Juneteenth is a big deal. And we went and we showed up for Black Lives Matter. And, and we got the things the city did change some things, but it still hasn't changed the culture because we went right back to drinking and kicking it and, not really doing anything for our community. So that's why we've started our podcast. And actually, I think is it DED? Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't want to mispronounce. Thank you. I know you had mentioned, have you talked to Eric yet?
No. I've listened to her podcast. She has these two very intelligent older Black men on it, and they talk about today's issues. And I think that a perspective from like Eric on her show would be it would just be a fascinating conversation. And so I dropped your name, Eric.
And so she told me, she was like, yeah,
says, well, hey, let's get together and talk with him. And I said, well, I know he's busy and I haven't, but he's going to be with me tonight. So here he is.
Yes. And Eric,
this is your trial run, Eric.
Yes.
Well, the couple of thoughts come to mind. One is I think you've probably heard it before. Silence is complacence. Complacence is acquiescence.
I feel that deeply.
And that's why it's important that we speak up, everybody. And,
everybody.
I had an interesting conversation with an indigenous man located near here, Native American from the Occaneechi-Saponi tribe, and he had been fighting for years to get federal recognition for that tribe. And he went to his father, who at this point was bedbound, and they told him that we've succeeded. We've finally gotten recognition.
That's awesome.
His father got tears in his eyes, and he said, I never thought that I would need a piece of paper to tell us who we are.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have a little mixed feelings about the Emancipation Proclamation, and carrying that, because we don't need the Emancipation Proclamation to tell Black folks who they are. They know who they are.
Yes, we do. And I think it's more so, and for me, I can't speak for Remy and I can't speak for my wife. It's more so an acknowledgement that, hey, we knew we were more than 3/5 of a man. But the country as a whole needed to know. And it's horrible that it always took a struggle and then it had to be blanketed across the country. Like, that's just not common sense. So I appreciate the emancipation, but I definitely appreciate your perspective of why did we even have to have this? Like
why shouldn't it be a given?
Yeah.
Well, and what's sad about it is even 100 years after it was legislated, there's still civil rights, uprisings throughout the country in up through the 60s and even today. We're still fighting this very same things. Back to what one thing I wanted to bring up about what April's doing is it seems to me that Black people, kids, for a long time have thought that their vote didn't matter. Well, if their vote didn't matter, systemic BS wouldn't have been put into place to make it harder for Black people to vote. And I'm talking from the laws that have how many Black men in prison for marijuana today.
Mm-hmm.
So many, that's all part of the Jim Crow and the failure of Reconstruction and everything. That we need to, but you know what? If those votes didn't matter, they wouldn't be so hell bent on making it harder to vote.
Mm-hmm.
If we have the Black vote, the youth vote, we can change things.
Yeah.
But we got to get those people to vote.
Yes, you do. Yes, we do.
And children that are 8 years old today that might read Remy's book, 10 years is not that long.
Right.
Yeah. So especially in the scope of politics.
Mm-hmm.
Look how
around that time we'll be just going through another redistricting.
We'll be
so maybe they can pay attention before they turn 18.
Right.
And understand the environment that they're coming into, because hopefully in 10 years we won't be living in the redistricting mess that we're living in now.
Well, don't get me wrong.
Aware of it.
I read an article the other day that said voters under the age of 25 make up like 35% of like the registered voters now, and like people are scared about that because these young people, like, they don't just let you tell them anything and they be pacified, or they're quiet, or they're not fighting for, you know, what they believe in. Like, they're making noise, and people are scared of that. Like, I think I see more articles about young people raising money for people who they feel are going to make a change than anyone. Like, it's crazy, but I mean, the time is coming. We just got to keep pushing for it. We just got to keep pushing.
Maybe they're scared enough that they're finally saying, this is our future, because it is.
Yeah.
Actually, it's crazy because a young woman named Candace Valenzuela, in 2020, she raised the most amount of money as a young woman under 30 in politics. I think she was running for U.S. Congress here in Texas. I think I just found out the other day. It was my area that I live in now. But she made the most amount of money off of micro donations, which is people like that are young, that only have $3 or $4 on Cash App, or only have a few dollars here and there. And she basically changed the way that people look at fundraising, as opposed to going for higher dollar low. You know, talk to the younger folks like us who only have $3, $5, $10 to spare, who can't do monthly memberships, you know, of 25, but I can do a monthly membership of $5 and not even think, you know, nothing of it. I do that with Apple subscriptions now. So just thinking like, okay, so that's how she changed it. So I know that's encouraged me in my area. I'm 40 years old. Well, 41. I'm at the top of Generation Y. I forget. I only turned 41 like a week ago. I know I'm such a baby, but baby, this body is not telling me.
Dang, I must be an infant then. I don't like this.
You know what? We are not going to talk.
I'm still in the toddler phase.
We are not going to talk about
it. Enjoy.
But being at the top of my generation, I feel like it is my responsibility to make it to where it is easier for the people that are up to 28 years old, the people that are about to start buying houses and insurance, and, you know, really being invested in understanding that what your property taxes do for the area you live in, how your kids' schools are going to be influenced. So that's one thing that I'm really pushing, at least through my area, because like I said, we live in a very conservative part of Texas, and Texas is conservative overall, but we live in a very conservative part of the inner city, but it is not reflective of what this city is. Like, this city is all mixed up. Like, I watch a young man, and I know y'all probably think I'm a stalker, but I see them come out every day. He comes out, he's like a chef or something. He's white with this man bun. This young lady is black with braids, and they got this baby. And they have one car because they 20, 30 something years old. They're making it work, but they come out every day around 10:30. I think he has to be there like at work at 11. And she comes home and she takes care of what she takes care of. But if that's not even a reflection, TikTok is a reflection of how our country really is. So trying to get to those voters and say, hey, come change the course of how things are going. That's really been something, you know, that we've been working on in this area. So I'm really inspired by what y'all are doing.
Yeah, that's one thing is we're wanting to TikTok. I don't understand TikTok. I uploaded it. I still haven't figured out what I'm supposed to do with it.
But, you know what you're supposed to do with it?
What?
Whatever you think.
Well, what do you think you're going to do with it, Rim?
Right.
What do I call you now? Now I don't know. Lady Liberty.
Right. Lady Liberty.
I'm going to take TikTok. I'm learning TikTok as well. But I plan on taking the TikTok and the Liberty Ride and making sure we can reach as many minority and young people as possible, if that's the platform that they're using now. And so that's it. I just want to be creative and give them something to look at. So hence the costume. You know, that should, like, if you're scrolling and see someone on a motorcycle with some bad biker chicks, and she, you know, maybe you'll listen to what she's saying.
Right.
So that's the goal.
I would really like to see
Lady Liberty.
I'd really like to see the Ride for Liberty, Dad's Dream, become more than an event. I would like to see it become the start of a movement, because one of the things that we started out trying to demonstrate. And I think this was Dad's original vision, was we want to show people that bikers are not all Trumpers. Bikers are not all hard right wingers.
Yeah.
We are just as diverse as the rest of America. And if we can learn to work together and reach across some of the things that we disagree on, then maybe we can set an example for the larger population.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm open to doing whatever I can to help with that movement. I was quite surprised yesterday that we did a voter registration drive. So I'm thinking, okay, we got to get all these bikers registered. Everybody's already registered to vote. So that lets me know that bikers are aware, whether it's, and a lot of us, at least in the DFW, work for a lot of city places. So they kind of know, or county places, they know what's pretty much going on in the area. But just being aware of, hey, just going in now, I just got to make sure everybody goes and votes. So I'm going to be on them for the next 6 to 8 weeks. But they're already registered. So I think the movement is there. And that's why I say I'm so thankful that y'all are doing this, that it has not stopped, that the what did you say it's called, a ring, like it's a chain, that it has not been broken, because there are people that no matter what side of the aisle you are on, no matter what color you are, no matter what your belief system is, like, hey, we all got to live in this country. I'm gonna say this and we got to have to wrap it up because we have another show at 8:15.
I was definitely just gonna make it happen, so I wasn't.
Oh, you gonna make it happen with 2? Oh, because we can keep this popping.
Yeah,
I'm with that energy.
Hey.
Okay, come on.
I can multitask.
Okay. I just, I'm just the type.
What's your other show? What's your other show on? What's the topic?
Right, we just gonna pop into their show.
No, we're not.
Dem Bros are 2 bikers here in the DFW, and they are a hot mess. They're initially in the same club, but that club has no longer around, so they're in different clubs. But they kept that brotherhood, so that's why they're Dem Bros. And they just are a hot mess. Like everything we believe in, they believe in. Like one of them is super scholarly. The other one is just hood as can be. He works on diesel trucks. Like they keep us laughing in the DFW.
I'll have to watch it. I do have to take care of something here in a little bit, but I want to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
What we have discussed, because a lot of times when I say I really should replace it with we, because I am in no way capable of doing this by myself.
Okay.
And there is more than me that have ideas and have talked about what we could do going forward. But this year we've had a lot of clubs and riding groups, actual motorcycle clubs. I'd start naming who all, but I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to name anybody. But We've had a lot of motorcycle clubs, riding groups involved this year, and as well as a lot of our just solo riders. And I can see how next year, if we could utilize the people that came in from those different groups to help organize their areas, we can grow the rides in each area and simplify the way we connect around the country. So any chance that you get to tell a motorcycle group what we're doing, send them our way, because I'm going to end up trying to pull everybody into a conversation. And what would be awesome is like we transferred it at the roundup last year or this year, if we could find about other rallies that are happening around the country and use them as places to transfer and help move it. And then it would bring more attention to what we're doing. And keep in mind, I'm not, there's no, up to now, we have not had any fees. We're not in this for money at all. It's a matter of ending the division and filling the gap and connecting all of us. And so if we can do that next year, that's help us do that.
Eat pork. Unum.
E pluribus unum, from many
Okay.
one.
Good deal. And we are definitely open to providing that. Actually, it's funny because I will be calling every motorcycle club in the United States, the Black motorcycle club in the United States. And then once I get done with talking to them about what we need to talk to them, then I'm coming to the white motorcycle clubs, because we really got to do something for the women. Like, period, point blank. That's where I'm done with the games. And that's just, there's stuff we deal with in our community that I'm just done with. Like, hey, we could really be working together as a community as a whole. So I'm definitely willing to send whomever your way if there's a form they can fill out. So that way it's like a uniform way. I can just send them a link. I know my wife will be talking to people too as well, so we can definitely send a link. But I wanted to say in regard to whatever it is we can do. Okay, so you're saying you're going to DC in a couple. So is it like the ride goes on for a certain amount of time and then you all end up in one place?
Well, this is something else I probably should have mentioned. This year we did something cool. We started May 1st, the first Sunday of May. Going forward, we're going to try to make Ride for Liberty for All Day and turn it into a national thing where you start the first Sunday of May every year and you choose a civil rights martyr, hero, fighter, or cause, and you honor that on this first Sunday of May as Ride for Liberty for All Day. And you just put your peg down and you ride in honor of them. You can dress like them. You can go someplace that was connected to their cause or to them, but you do something on the first Sunday of every May in honor of a civil rights hero or in an honor of civil rights. So we started this year, May 1st. And what was your question?
It's okay. I do the same thing, girl.
And we finish up in Washington, D.C.
Oh, and we finish up in Washington. We do finish up in Washington, D.C. after we go all over the country.
Okay, so is there like a normally decided time?
Well, this year we ended on September 17th. We have had a different end date each year. This year we ended on September 17th. It happens to be Constitution Day. It's the day in 1787 that the Constitution was accepted. It wasn't the day that it was actually finished, but it's called Constitution Day. And oddly enough, it's not celebrated.
Right.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't either. I think I remember it vaguely, but
I didn't remember. I didn't know. But when I realized that saw Constitution Day, September 17th, that we happened to fall in town that weekend, I went with it. But yeah. So this year it's Constitution Day. Looking at, the fact that there's hurricanes, and we've already had, not this year, but last year had a rider that had to ride through a hurricane to make her transfer. Looking at hurricane season on the East Coast, September may not be the best time of year to do this, to end on the East Coast. But I think that next year, as we pull the group people come in that I believe will be in, it may look a little bit different than it has the past few years because we're evolving and growing. But yeah, we end in DC. We have the last 3 years.
Okay, that's awesome. And I just that's what I remember from the very beginning. That's kind of what happened. So I just wanted people to understand that while these documents are traveling around, but you all do concede an end towards the end somewhere else.
Every year we have tried to reach out to our politicians. Politicians only care about you if you're one of their constituents. And when one person gets a hold of their guy, they're their constituent, but the rest of us aren't. So we're not a big crowd to them that has much of value.
Okay,
so we have not been able to get it. Like our senators or our House of Representatives that are in Washington, D.C., we'd love to hand them over to them as a symbol of them accepting them and protecting them. Not one. And I've sent, this year not as many, but in the past, I've sent a lot of letters, made a lot of phone calls, and a lot of emails. Other people have also. We don't, sometimes we get responses. Most often we don't get response. I sent a letter to President Biden. He didn't even answer. He didn't even respond to what I wrote him about. It was just a generic canned letter. I've tried everybody, but no politician has showed up. So this year we are passing them on to the Buffalo Soldiers, and I think they're the Nova Buffalo Soldiers. There's several chapters in Washington D.C., and we're going to transfer them to them for as the guardians of them, as which is totally respectable and an honor to do that.
Yes.
And it's fascinating to me that our politicians won't show up, but the Buffalo Soldiers once again come through.
Right.
Well, let me just say, we are going to talk about that politician thing, because I know someone who may be interested next year if she is elected in November. But that would, and this she is a civil rights attorney, so this would definitely be right up her alley. Yeah, like that would, and she's like 41, so she's with Black Lives Matter, all of that. So if that is something, if she gets elected, which we are really hoping that she does, that may be something that she may be open to at next year. So, and whatever that looks like, I don't even know what that looks like for her. So, but if not her, then we can find you some. Well, I can find you somebody.
For one thing,
I'm just saying, like, if we got to just keep, like, we can find somebody.
Yeah. I mean, these documents collectively, this is Congress's job description.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this is what their job is set up for, to protect every day. This is how they're supposed to implement work and make sure that our rights are protected. So yes, like you said, I'm so glad that y'all are connecting these dots. Like, oh, I can't wait to get off the phone. My wife told me that I wanted to talk to you. She's like, I just need you to talk to her, but I've been busy trying to do this work stuff. So like, oh my goodness, girl, I can't wait to talk to you.
And y'all are both talkers, so it'll be great conversation.
But I just want to end it on this note. I know we do have to go, and everybody has some things to do. I believe Eric said something, because of course I took copious notes, and I think you also spoke to it as well, Dan, where it was talking about having a more perfect union and having freedom for all. So I did not come out until I was 33. I was a hardcore biker at that point, so it didn't even matter. Like, I'm living my freedom, my truth. I grew up in a very understanding family. I grew up going to church, but I grew up, when I read something, it sunk in. So all of this political stuff, like learning Texas government, I figured it out once I actually sat down and figured it out within 2 months. But I remember the perfect union. I remember the freedom for all. So I've set my life up to live that way. And that's how I thought, living in the American dream. And then I realized life wasn't set up for me. So I got laid off, as opposed to the white lady over here, but she was always sick and she had health concerns, which means they were paying more out. And she, she's older, she had cancer, but I got laid off from work. And so, of course, I wasn't really understanding of that, at that time. I'm young or whatever. And then some things changed in my life, and then I came out. And then I moved to Texas. And then, work is not the same like it is in Missouri. Like, I actually had some rights in Missouri. Texas, no, ma'am. That is not how it goes down here. Like, Texans government definitely treats their people like crap. But I realized that all the things that you're talking about, like this aha moment, realizing that the 3/5 of a man still applied to me, like it applied to me the day I was born, that realizing that the freedom for all was like, that was a really hard couple of years for me to really just, because I believed everything that I was taught in, 9th grade, in 3rd grade. I remember the grades because civics is my thing. And I thought that it was fair for all of us. And I realized the last 2 years, it's not. And that's why I'm getting people to get out and go vote. That's why I don't care who you vote for. I do care who you vote for, but I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. But I need you behind to get up and go vote. They are about sick of my TikToks. They are about sick of my comments on Facebook. They are about sick of my, Candace, here she comes with this voting stuff. Damn it, I need y'all to vote, because this is not freedom for all of us. And this is crazy that we're living in a country that says this is what we operate off of, but we definitely are not acting and behaving in that way. So I thank you all for this great conversation. We are 1 minute to Dim Bros, and they're
not having a show tonight. It's okay.
Oh, they not? Oh, well, damn, I'm gonna call them and talk stuff.
Well,
but I know y'all have things to do.
If there, I would like to give April, make sure, because I feel like I kept April from being able to talk. And so I want to make sure that if April has anything she wished she would have said or would have been given an opportunity, that I shut my mouth and I let April speak.
No, I said what I needed to say. I just appreciate being here. I can't wait to do more work and be active in the Liberty Ride. Thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for letting me be a part of the Liberty Ride.
Hey, if anybody comes up with an interesting historical fact, send it to April.
Yes, please. Yep. Send me all facts, please.
And let me tell you about April. So April has.
Why, what are with the air quotations? Like that's not her government name.
Because it is. And when I say it's like, because I'm not used to it. Like, I'm just not used to it. But when we, she had been on our show before. And so these people are already her fans. So they already know what she got. You see, my bestie is on here talking about her outfit. Her costume was great. Like, we saw this on Sunday. Like, what she got going on now? Then Monday we wake up to the TikTok. So that was like, what is Remy up to now? Like, so believe me, if I had known she was gonna be on the show, I would have talked it up with every damn body, more than what I did. But believe me, we are appreciative that you all are. Shut up, fool. We are down with the bullshit tonight. We got company, y'all. Don't act like that, friend. But we thank y'all so much. I look forward to reaching out and speaking with you all further and more. Diet, I'm going to drop my phone number in the messenger, and then you just send me a text because my phone is on Do Not Disturb during the workday.
Her phone is on Do Not Disturb all day long. It's not just the workday. There's
if you're not the special people,
Do Not Disturb. So
okay,
no one can get through ever because it's always on Do Not Disturb.
You called right through.
I better be able to call.
Don't do me like that. Since I got into this political stuff, like my phone rings all the time. So I've had to let only certain people through, which is work and my family and the people that need to get to me. So yes, but like I said, send me a text message and I'll add you to the list, and then you'll be able to call right through. But I appreciate y'all's conversation. You said what, dear?
I said I get in.
Yeah, you can get in.
Okay.
Yes, you call right through. You on the list too, girl. So we appreciate y'all. I can't wait to get to know y'all. I'm excited about what this will do for our country, especially amidst the growing tension of civil war. And I'm like, really, y'all? Like, that's what we're really coming down to in 2022. Like, that's what we're talking about. So I'm thankful that y'all are doing it.
I'm going to say something about that. One thing I've noticed is these old white supremacists that want a civil war, what I have seen of the Black motorcycle community, I think they're going to be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there is a strength in brotherhood that comes from struggle together that these old white guys,
they're not ready for it.
They don't even understand.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm to the point where it's like, let the stupid be stupid and let's get it over with.
Exactly. Let's keep going. Like we made it through a pandemic. We can make it through more stupidity.
But I would like to avoid all of that. I think it's nonsense, and it reminds me of the playground childishness of bullies and because if none of that's ever going to prove anybody right or wrong anyway.
Yeah, it's not going to solve anything.
Yeah. So, but if they want to be stupid, just let's get it over with.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do that. Let's all vote and take our country back.
Yeah.
That part. Yes, ma'am.
I want to appreciate all that you folks are doing and for giving us the opportunity to talk about this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's important. And I think we're in our third year, and I hope to see that this is going to be continuing for a long time to come.
Like, I really am just so encouraged by y'all. Y'all don't even understand. Like, I was cutting onions at the beginning of the show. I'm not gonna cut any. Like, it makes everything that I wake up for, like I've been on this job for less than 6 months, and everything that I'm waking up and just trying to figure out how to reach my neighbors, and are they going to be concerned if I knock on their door, and or if I answer a phone call. Like, I really appreciate that you all are doing the movement that you're doing, especially within our motorcycle community, because I think that's where I know for me within this community, I have found my true self. I can be who I am. My parents, my dad's a biker. My mother just comes and hangs out with us whenever, but I can be who I'm going to be all day, every day. So, and I think that's the freedom that I get from motorcycling and riding motorcycles. So I continue doing what y'all doing. Continue researching. Thank you for including this side of the tracks, and being receptive, and I'm glad to hear that the emancipation went down the civil rights trail. Heck, I haven't even gone down the civil rights trail, and that's something I'm looking forward to doing. That's
maybe you can help get it there next year.
I definitely could. Definitely could, because it starts a little rocking.
Yeah, definitely check out the museum in Tulsa.
I
spent several hours there last month, and it's
you did?
Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Tulsa, Oklahoma was definitely an eye-opener. For me, that's really why I'm focused on pivoting our organization to really giving women and women of color the support we need to be able to continue engaging within the motorcycle community, and not saying, oh, I can't go because I don't have the funding to go. But Tulsa really just opened my eyes up, and actually I'd been doing research on it since the year before. So it really opened my eyes up. Oh, this is how we're supposed to do it. So go get the information, understand what the system is, don't, and basically insulate what it is you're doing. So we're going to, continue to encourage other women. But the Oklahoma all-female ride, the Lady Riders of Oklahoma actually put their flyer out, I believe it was last week, for that Black Wall Street event. So we're excited. We're going to be there next year.
I got a video of the all-female ride at Tulsa last in May.
You did? What did the video look like?
Well, I took the video. I sat off to the side of the road and got.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I got the whole video.
You was there? I did not know that.
Yeah, we did 2 transfers in Tulsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Bill of Rights transferred there and then headed southwest, and the Emancipation transferred there and headed north.
Okay. I did not know that. Oh my goodness. Well, and we were not aware. We were definitely there. We'll definitely be there next year. So yes, I'm definitely ready to, this is awesome. I really, y'all don't understand. After a while, you get tired of drinking and partying. Like, you really want to get down to the essence of who we are as bikers. And I really think y'all have tapped into that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not a problem. So unfortunately, Dem Bros will not be tuning in at 8:15 today on the MTSN network, but please tune in with us on Sunday.
I gotta ask you this, because you say this every time. What is the MTSN network? What is
I know I say it and then I think about it after the fact. It's the MTS network. Excuse me.
I was just wondering.
I'd like to know what does MTS stand for? Meet the Subletts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because we started from an actual show, this show, and then now it's let's put the people that we know out there. And
it's not the people we know; it's the people who want a platform to advocate for.
Okay, well then this ain't my idea, because
it isn't.
This ain't my. Honestly, y'all just push paperwork.
Exactly. Yes.
This
is for platform. This is a platform for people like you, people like me, people like anyone who has something to say that feels like they want to say it. That's what it is.
Okay.
I like your flag. Do you like my flag? Can you see
I do. I've been looking at it the whole show. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we saw that from jump.
My neighbor, every time we used to fly it, he'd have to fly his "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
The only people that are doing the treading are the people flying that flag. I'm going to say goodnight.
Okay. Well, tune in on Sunday night,
Good
8
night.
p.m. Central Standard Time, to For the Record podcast. We will be continuing to talk about Texas government and all the things that we're still trying to learn with that for the upcoming election. All right. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one.
Thanks again.